So we have here examples of rational functions there, page 74 sa baba. So the following are rational functions. Meron tayong f of x, g of x, h of x, and I of x. Those are examples of rational functions. Yung f of x, considered to be linear. Yung g of x, quadratic. Makikita nyo naman dyan sa exponent, x squared. Yung h of x is also quadratic, divided by a linear. Linear yung nasa denominator. I of x, quadratic, divided by another quadratic function. Okay? Now, we have there an example, page 75. Okay? The following are not rational functions. Why are these not rational functions? Okay. If you check there, f of x, which is square root of x over x plus 1, please follow in your book, please. And your g of x is x plus 1 over 1 plus x to the power of 1/2 minus 4x squared. And your h of x is the square root of the quotient of x plus 1 and x minus 2. Why are these not rational functions? So let's start with your f of x. It is not a polynomial because polynomials, one description of a polynomial may square root. Tama. It's not a polynomial kasi may square root. Yung g of x naman, wala siyang square root pero yung exponent na x to the power of 1/2 is the same lang yan. X to the power of 1/2 is convertible to square root of x, di ba? So it's still fractional exponent or square root considered to be not polynomial. Therefore, they are not rational function.
Alright.
Then h of x naman, although linear yan, yung x plus 1, x minus 2 is also linear, pero may square root din ang buong equation. So it is not a rational function. Okay, so let's go to example 1, page 75. You have there A, B, C, and D. Now, which of those letters A, B, C, and D are rational functions and which are not? Let's start with letter A. Given f of x equals 2x over x plus 1. Okay, without looking at the solution there, syempre yan na yung sagot dyan. But by analyzing, bakit yung letter A rational function? O, rational ba lahat? Yung A, B, C, and D? No, it's not rational all, but just A and B. A and B are rational. Yung C and D, A, B, C lang ang given sa book nyo? Mali example yung natingnan. Okay. Maybe example 2 yung natingnan mo. Alright, so A and B are rational functions. Letter A, linear, divided by linear. Letter B, rational function because quadratic divided by another linear. Letter C is not a rational function kasi may square root ka. And letter D also is not a rational function kasi may exponent ka na fraction which is 1/2. Okay? Now, let's go. So, okay ba? Okay na tayo how to identify if the function is a rational or not? Wala na tayong question doon. Give me a thumbs up. If you can identify the function as rational or not, give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you. And now let's go to example 2. We have there how to find the domain. Okay, so let's have there A, B, and C. The following are examples. The following examples are considered to be rational functions. Okay, kasi wala ka naman makikita dyan na square root or fractional exponent. Now, sa letter A, what's the domain for letter A? Kung titingnan natin yung equation, f of x equals 1 over x. Therefore, ang domain is to make sure that the denominator not be equal to 0. Therefore, the restricted value of x is 0. Okay, so ang domain, lahat ng real numbers except 0. Okay, domain is lahat ng real numbers except 0. So how are you going to write that one? You can have it this way. Oops, for a while. Okay, you can have it domain D is pwedeng lahat ng real numbers except okay, you can have it like that one. Lahat ng real numbers except, di ba, yung real numbers yung capital R naman yan, di ba? Bold R. Except 0. Then, how about the range, guys? Ganun din. Lahat ng real numbers except 0. So, range is lahat ng real numbers except 0. Okay? And how about letter B? G of x, which is x over x minus 1. So, madali lang ko rin yung domain niya dito. Ganun din. Dapat hindi maging 0. So, what value will make the denominator equal to 0? It's number 1, right? Kasi x minus 1. So, you equate that one to 0. Ang gagawin mo sa x minus 1 equals 0.
Sir? Sir?
Yes.
Sir, meron ba kayo sinusulat, sir? Meron po kayong sinusulat or wala?
Wala ba kayo nakikita?
Nakikita lang po namin pa, straight line. Ganun. Ayun, sir, nakita na.
May nakita na?
Apo, sir.
Okay. So, there, ngayon lang ako nagsulat actually. Okay. So there, you have there, x, sa letter B, x equals 1, yan yung domain niya. Kasi pag 1 yung nilagay mo, magiging 1 minus 1 equals 0, yung sa number, letter B. Okay? So, the restricted value, x value is 1. So, therefore, the domain of G is the set of all real numbers except 1. And how about letter C there, guys? X plus 1 over x squared minus 4. So, yung denominator natin is a quadratic function. Then, we can factor that out into yung x squared minus 4. Magiging x plus 2. And you have there x minus 2. So, therefore, what's the domain? Sir, yeah, pwede naman yan na Villamor, actually. X such that x values, ganun. Pwede yan. Alright, so for letter C naman, the domain here is, or R, hindi pwedeng negative 2 at saka hindi pwedeng 2. Okay? Tama? Because these values will make your equation there, letter C, equal to 0. Okay? So that's it for domain. Now, let's go how to find the asymptotes. Ano nga ba yung asymptotes? Okay. Page 76 there. Okay, you have there the definition. An asymptote is a line, please follow in your book, or a curve that the graph of the function gets close to but does not touch. Okay, it may be a vertical asymptote or a horizontal asymptote. So the line x equals a is a vertical asymptote of the graph if f of x approaches infinity or f of x approaches negative infinity. So x approaches a either from right or from left. And yung vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote naman is ganun din kabaligtaran. Okay, so we have here how to find the asymptotes. Let's have an example. Okay, say for example here we have a rational function f of x equals, we use that example in the book bago tayo manap ng iba, 1 over x plus 1. Okay, now first, how to find the vertical asymptotes. Sinabi natin dito, finding asymptotes, page 77, we follow the rule there or the diagram on how to find the asymptote. Okay, on vertical asymptotes, they are the restrictions of the x values of a reduced rational function. Now check your rational function there, it's already reduced. To find the restrictions, equate the denominator to 0 and solve for x. Now what's your denominator there? Your denominator is x plus 1. So you equate that one to 0, x plus 1 equals 0. Therefore, x equals negative 1. Then we can say that your vertical asymptote, VA, you can just label that one as VA, meaning to say vertical asymptote, is equal to x equals negative 1. Okay, so the factors that are cancelled when a rational function is reduced represents holes in the graph. Now, kung titingnan natin yung, what do you call this one, yung rational function natin, there's no need for us to reduce here kasi reduce na siya. Not unless kung mai-reduce tayo, yan yung tinatawag natin na holes in the graph. Di ba yung mag-graph ka tapos lalagyan mo ng circle. So later, ibang topic naman yung graphing natin. Now, horizontal asymptote. Paano naman natin kukunin yung horizontal asymptote? The horizontal asymptote is determined by comparing the degrees of your numerator and the degrees in your denominator. Now, compare your degrees in your numerator and denominator. Meron ba tayong x values sa numerator? Wala, di ba? Sa denominator lang tayo merong x value. So therefore, we can say that our equation or our function is bottom heavy. Meaning to say, mas higher yung degree natin sa denominator for this case since wala nga sa numerator. Therefore, our horizontal asymptote here is just simply equal to, what do you think? Our horizontal asymptote.
But of course, you're not linear, right? You have instruments.
This is just simply equal to 0. Okay? Our horizontal asymptote is equal to 0. Since the degree of the numerator is less than that of the degree of the denominator. Okay? Now, how about letter B? Let's try with letter B. So again, wala tayong mahanap dito na slant or oblique or hole sa graph natin. Okay? Not unless depende yan sa equation kung merong present yan. So yan, nakukuha na natin yung ating vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. How about, okay, for a while. Okay. Okay, let's have another one here. F of x. Let's have this example. F of x equals 4x over 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1. Okay. So again, first thing first. Okay. Tingnan natin kung is there a need for us to reduce the rational function. Di ba wala na? There's no need for us to reduce the rational function. So therefore, we check the denominator to find our vertical asymptote. Our denominator is 2x plus 1. Okay, that's our denominator. We equate that one to 0. So we can say that 2x oops, 2x equals, lipat natin yung 1 sa kabila, negative 1 over 2x over 2 over 2. Then our vertical asymptote is just simply equal to negative 1/2. Sure, no problem. Can go to the CR. So that's our vertical asymptote, x equals negative 1/2. Okay. Now how about our, what do you call this one? Horizontal asymptote. How to get the horizontal asymptote? Okay. To get the horizontal asymptote, look at your degree of your x. They are just the same, right? The same lang tayo sa numerator at saka sa denominator. Okay? So, copy that one, your 4x. The same lang tayo sa denominator, which is 2x. So, you can just cancel this one. Cancel yung x natin, cancel yung x. 4 divided by 2. Then we will just have 2. Therefore, for this equation, ito equation na to, ilista na natin dito. Vertical asymptote natin, nakuha natin kanina na vertical asymptote x equals negative 1/2. And your horizontal asymptote, which is y equals 4 over 2 is just simply 2. Y equals 2. Okay, so that's how you are going to get your vertical and horizontal asymptote. Okay, now next. Another one, another example. Okay ba, naintindihan ba natin guys how to get the vertical and horizontal asymptote? Nakuha natin? Give me a thumbs up nga if nakuha, nasundan. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, that's good, thank you. Another example. Okay, how about if we have this equation? F of x equals x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x squared minus 5x plus 4. Okay. Now check your equation. What can you do with your equation here? Okay, factor out. Yes, you are going to factor out before you can cancel. Now, remember your knowledge about factoring out a quadratic function? Okay. Di ba? First term, x. You also have your x. And then sa 3 nyo, dalawa lang yung factor natin dyan. 3 and 1 lang. Okay, so look at there. That's positive, meaning to say, dapat then pag i-multiply mo yung dalawa dito is magiging positive din. Pero tingnan nyo yung middle term, negative. So when you add two numbers para maging negative, both negative lang. Kasi kung mag-multiply ka ng dalawa negative, may positive yung sagot. In your denominator, okay, now look at there your denominator. Ang 4, pwedeng 2, 2, pwedeng 4, 1. But since kung 2, 2 lang, kung i-add mo yung 2, 2, never yan magiging 5. But 4, 1 will become 5, right? And careful with your sign. Dapat naka-negative kasi kung multiply mo yung dalawang negative, magiging positive 4. Now look at now your equation. X minus 3 and x minus 1 your numerator, and denominator x minus 4 and x minus 1. So from here, you can now have your vertical asymptotes. What are your vertical asymptotes? Okay. What's your vertical asymptote here? You are going to set the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x, the vertical asymptotes. So x minus 1, the equation to the equation natin, x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x squared minus 5x plus 4. Yes, that's it. So what are the vertical asymptotes here? Isa lang ba yung vertical asymptotes natin? Okay. So since kung i-cancel out natin to dito, ang maiwan na lang, ano maiwan sa equation natin? Maiwan tayo sa f of x equals x minus 3. We are left with x minus 3 and x minus 4, right? And instead of having, look at their page 79. So instead of having two vertical asymptotes at x equals 4, di ba, kung i-equate mo sa 0 yung x minus 4 and x minus 1 na denominator natin, this rational function has one whole at x equals 1. Bakit at x equals 1? Kasi tinan mo, pareho siya, na-cancel out natin, di ba? So yung whole natin, malalaman natin yung about sa whole, guys, pag nag-graph na tayo. Okay? Doon natin yung makikita sa pag nag-graph na tayo. So x equals 1 there. So therefore, our vertical asymptote is just simply equal to x equals 4. Okay? So that, look at there the degree of the numerator and then the denominator. The same lang ba tayo ng degree? Diba? To the second degree yung numerator, and then to the second degree also our denominator. So the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of the denominator. And then look at there the leading coefficients of your numerator and denominator according to the one with the highest degree order, which is 2. So ano ba yung leading coefficient natin dito ng x squared? Di ba 1 lang? Okay? So the graph has the line y equals 1. Kung 1 lang yan, so 1 divided by 1. So therefore, our horizontal asymptote is just simply equal to y equals 1. Not x equals 1, but y equals 1 as our horizontal asymptote. Okay? Again, another example. Nakuha na sundan. Let's have this example. Let's use another color. How about if we have f of x? Maybe we'll just okay na to. I-clear ko na to para magsimula ako ng bago. I-clear ko na ha. Print screen nyo lang yan. Okay. 5, 4. Okay, print screen na. Okay. How about if we have this example, f of x equals x squared. Let's have an example that has a different degree. Yung numerator at saka denominator. X squared minus 1 over x minus 1. So first thing, equate the denominator to 0, x minus 1 equals 0, x equals positive 1. So therefore, our vertical asymptote here, VA, x equals 1. Now, let's go now to our horizontal asymptote. look at there the degree of your numerator and then the degree of your denominator. Is a rational function top heavy or bottom heavy? Meaning to say, when I say top heavy, mas mataas yung degree order ng numerator. Bottom heavy, mas mataas yung degree ng denominator. Now, is it top heavy or bottom heavy? Okay, it's top heavy. So what are we going to do here? Since the degree of the numerator is 1 greater than, di ba? Kasi x squared yan, x lang sa denominator. So, meron ba tayong horizontal asymptote dito? Wala. So again ha, pag ganito guys, pag top heavy or meaning to say, mas higher order yung numerator natin kasi sa denominator, we don't have a horizontal asymptote. We will just have, yung tinatawag natin na oblique asymptote. Okay, oblique or slant. Yung asymptote natin dito. Okay, pa-slant siya. So look at there. What are we going to do? We are going to use the long division method. Okay, divide x squared by x minus 1. Okay, so ilong method natin, x squared divided by x minus 1. Okay, x squared divided by x, let's use another color. Okay, x squared divided by x, that's x. X times x is x squared. X times negative 1, it's negative x. And then, it's minus, right? And then here, meron tayong plus 0 dito. X squared plus 0 or x squared is just the same. X squared minus x squared is 0. 0 minus negative x, that's positive x. Okay, after there, you divide. X divided by x, that's positive 1. Plus 1 yan guys, plus 1. And then 1 times x, that's x. 1 times negative 1 equals negative 1. Okay, so ano yung maiwan dito? Minus. Ang maiwan natin dito is, that is plus 0 also here. X minus x is 0. 0 minus negative 1, that's positive 1. So therefore, the oblique asymptote here, okay, since wala tayong horizontal asymptote, okay, wala tayong horizontal asymptote, naka-oblique siya or naka-slant. Therefore, our oblique asymptote here, y. What do you mean 1? Remainder lang yan. We're not after of the remainder. Okay, we're not after of the remainder here. Ito na. Dito na tayo, nakuha na tayo. Nakuha natin yung oblique asymptote natin. Our oblique asymptote is y equals x plus 1. So ayan na. Nakuha na natin yung oblique asymptote. Y equals x plus 1. So kailan ba mangyayari itong ganitong type of, kung walang what we call this one, walang horizontal asymptote? If ever, the numerator has higher degree compared to the denominator. Okay? So that's it. Magkakaroon tayo ng oblique asymptote. Okay? So another example. So okay na tayo dun. So, di ba last week we discussed on finding zeros and finding the, what do you call this one? Intercepts. Okay. So let's have another example about this. Okay. Go over to page 84, guys.
And you know how to convert
Page 84. Okay, you are good. Okay, let's just have some of the items orally muna.
That goes to everyone. So no worries.
Okay, itong sa vocabulary and concept. Let's have this one orally. Use the rational function y equals 3x minus 4 and over x plus 2 to answer the following. Number 1, name the two functions used to form the rational function. What do you think are the two functions? Okay, yung numerator and yung denominator. Yung 3x minus 4, that's another. That's one. Yung x plus 2, that's another. So those are the functions used in that rational function. So what do you think is the domain of this function, guys? So group chat lang, please. What do you think is the domain of this function? Domain. Okay, correct. Domain. All, parang ba isulat yung real numbers? Ito parang makapal dito. Except, okay, except negative 2. Ayan, pwedeng you can have it that way. All the real numbers except negative 2. X such that x values must not be equal to positive 2 or negative 2. Okay, negative 2. All right. How about, let's have number 4. Number 4. Name the vertical asymptote for that case. What's the vertical asymptote for that function, for that rational function? Okay, vertical asymptote x equals, okay, VA. Okay, when you write that one, guys, dagdagan nyo ng x, guys, or y. VA x equals negative 2. Yeah, technically.
Alright, I think some of you are done already. Actually,
For here, parehas lang yung domain natin sa, what do you call this one, sa vertical asymptote natin. Okay, that's correct.
Actually open.
And number 5, the question there, number 5. Is the degree of the numerator smaller, the same, or larger than the degree of the denominator based on the rational function? It's just the same or equal. Yep, the same or equal. Okay, so hindi na natin isasama pag mag-support tayo. How about here, number 1? Okay, number 1. Lagyan ko na ito na check. Ibig sabihin na ano na discuss na natin or nasagutan na natin. Identify which of the following are rational functions. Number 1, rational or not rational. Yung practice and application, test 1, number 1. Rational or not rational, please participate. Okay. All right, there you go. Okay, that's correct. Number 1 is an example of a rational function. How about number 4? Number 4, is it rational or not
Not
rational?
rational, sir. Not rational.
Okay, correct. You can have it in the group chat now. Okay, number 4 is not rational. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Number 4 is not rational. So we will leave the other items para masagutan natin yan. Okay, let's have number 7. Okay, let's have number 7. Okay, first find the vertical asymptote for. Okay, sagutin mo natin yung ano, find A. Domain and range muna. Domain and range muna. 7. What's the domain and what's the range? Okay. So when you answer there in the group chat for number 7, D meaning to say domain, R meaning to say range.
Okay, so any question with regard on your T and for the musically inclined people? Okay? I think your result will say so as well. If you're planning to, yeah, why not? I started playing some instruments after grad.
Yun ba yung range mo, ano? William Moore?
Limited to play instruments, composition. You know how to write things. Arrangement, of course, we will arrange this.
You will check your range.
Right? So with that, I think let me do. Okay. So let's go to D.
Give me the domain, guys, for, yep, domain. All real numbers. Okay, correct, correct.
Right? So with that,
okay, correct yung domain nyo. All real numbers except negative 2 yung domain natin, correct. All real numbers except negative 2, that's correct. And your range, guys, what is your range? All real numbers except 1. Okay, that's correct. Yung range natin, all real numbers except 1. Rosette, would you mind explaining how did you get
Yes,
your range?
Ano, the A over B po yung 1
Again?
over 1, sir.
1 over 1. Okay, parang kinuha mo lang yung ano mo, yung what do you call this one, yung horizontal asymptote, di ba? Okay, so
Opo.
it's 1 over 1 yung leading coefficient ng iyong what do you call this variable. Okay, 1 over 1. Tama, Rosette? Yung ginawa mo? Yun ang ginawa mo, di ba? Alright, so yeah, I hear you. So yeah, letter B now. How about the zeros of the function? Letter B. The zeros of the function. For number, we are still with number 7. What are the zeros of the function? Recall our discussion last time. What's the zeros of the function? How to get the zeros? What are you going to equate? By factor nyo numerator and denominator. Then identify the restrictions. And then identify the values of x that make the numerator equal to 0. So therefore, letter B, what's the zeros? So equate mo lang yung numerator into 0. So x minus 5 equals 0, therefore x equals 5. That's the 0 of your function. Equate mo yung numerator into 0. And letter C, location of vertical asymptotes and holes. Or yan, vertical asymptote. Kung meron siyang hole, or wala, or just simply the vertical asymptote lang. Now, vertical asymptote x equals -2. That's correct. And how about the horizontal asymptote? What's the horizontal asymptote? Horizontal asymptote y equals 1. Okay, that's correct. So, ayan. So, maybe, okay, it's already time. Just check your classroom if may napag-usapan namin ni Sir Herbert if may post kaming sit work. Or maybe by Tuesday na mismo sa klase natin, we'll see. Okay, just check your classroom na lang sa Gen Chem, sa Gen Math. Alright? Alright, so see you later guys sa Gen Chem natin. Bye for now, it's already 2:02.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Yes.
po.
See you later guys. Bye
Thank you
guys.
po.
Thank you po.
Bye,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Bye po, thank you.